what's up you guys, this is Rob from the Gay Guy Plays, and today on the rundown, we're gonna be sucking them dry when we take a look at the Sentinel of the Sands, Inaros. Now, one of my favorite things about DE is the fact that they're more than willing to take a few risks when it comes to their designs. And not only is Inaros visually unique, but his mechanics also seem to follow suit. With his stats synergizing heavily with his skill set, Inaros has no issue swallowing his enemies whole and converting them into allies more than willing to serve their new master. Now, you can pick up Inaros' blueprint by completing the new Sands of Inaros quest, which starts with our most beloved character in game, the Void Trader himself, Katir. This is going to cost you 200 ducats and 50,000 credits. Just note that constructing the key also requires Nitane, so be sure you've stocked up. For the sake of keeping this video spoiler free, I'll leave you a link to more details on the quest in the description box below. However, if dealing with Barrow is more than you can handle, you can always pick him up pre-built along with the Warframe slot and Catalyst for 225 plat. He's also available in the Sands of Inaros bundle for 795, but I'll let you take a look at the details of that yourself. Now statistically, Inaros is an anomaly, lacking any form of shielding whatsoever. To make up for it, he goes heavy into hit points. At level 30, his base is 550, which coupled with the max rank vitality gives him a whopping 4,620 points of health. This alongside a base of 200 armor, which can be brought up to 420 via the use of the max steel fiber, makes him the perfect candidate for a rage build. His stats, coupled with his ability to heal, leech health, and dish out a decent amount of crowd control, makes him capable of soaking up a ton of damage. Continuing along the survivor thread, he has two unique passives. His first allows him to restore 20% of his max HP from targets that he's killed with a melee finisher. His second passive allows him to enter an alternate death state. He throws himself into a sarcophagus, and by aiming his reticule at surrounding enemies, he can pull them in close and leech their life essence. If he manages to drain enough enemies before the revive timer hits 0, he'll actually be able to get himself back up, all 4,620 points of himself. Now, let's get to unraveling what makes him so vicious. His first ability is Desiccate. At max rank, this blinds enemies with a wave of sand in a 15-meter cone for 8 seconds, dealing 150 points of damage, 8 points of damage per second, and healing himself for 25% of that damage, whilst the afflicted enemies are opened up to melee finishers as well as melee stealth multipliers. Now, not only is this some great pocket CC, its animation is quite fast, and combined with your passive's ability to restore your health, becomes a great way to not only crowd control, but also keep you healthy at the same time. Devourer is Inaros' second ability. With a single click, you can trap your target in quicksand for 30 seconds at max rank. This renders them helpless and gives you and your allies the option to literally suck them dry, dealing 325 damage per second while you restore your health. And if they're finished off by Inaros, your target is converted into a sand shadow. Now you also have the option of channeling this ability instead of single clicking. Both cost the exact same amount of energy. This will lash out threads of sand that drag any opponent to you within a 50-meter range, and as long as you can continue channeling, you will go directly into the devouring process. Now do be aware that each sand shadow's duration is dependent on how much of their health you've devoured. Basically, the longer you drain them, the longer they tend to stick around, which also seems to be the story of my life. Now, from playtesting, the numbers are a bit all over the place, with each drain to duration ratio being a little bit different. However, there are a couple things to note. First off, drones, sentinels, and other flying targets cannot be devoured. And second is that while you can devour Eximus troops for their health, you can't turn them into sand shadows as they simply disappear like a dirty one-night stand. His next ability, Sandstorm, literally turns him into a sandstorm, where he moves at a reduced speed, sucking up all enemies and pickups in a 15-meter radius, eventually spitting them back out, dealing 500 points of damage per second while they were caught within the funnel. Now, any targets that you've tagged with Devour and are still stuck in quicksand will be devoured if they are caught in the sandstorm, allowing you to create multiple sand shadows at the same time. Just keep in mind that while Sandstorm does seem to devour enemies much faster, the shadow's durations do seem to be noticeably shorter. Now, Inaros' fourth and final ability, Scarab Swarm, is a bit of a two-parter. Channeling Scarab Swarm converts your health into a max of 100% bonus armor that has no duration and stays with you until you unleash one of the charges. Each charge costs 25% of your armor bonus, and by targeting an enemy and quickly tapping the ability key, launches a swarm of scarabs at your target, panicking them for 15 seconds at max rank, dealing 200 damage per second and transferring that health to all allies within a 15-meter radius. Interesting thing to note about this is that this is technically a single target ultimate, which has the ability to spread to any other enemy unit within approximately 5 meters of a swarm afflicted target. Now, this is definitely something important to pay attention to, as you want to target your swarm at a centralized enemy unit, thus allowing it to spread to as many targets as possible. Also pay attention to their health, as foes that are close to death may expire before they're able to infect any newcomers. So all in all, Inaros is pretty goddamn amazing. His survivability is through the roof when built and played properly, with over 11,000 points of effective health at his base with a max vitality and steel fiber, 17.5 thousand with a fully charged Scarab swarm, 21.4 thousand with a single arcane guardian proc contributing to that total, and let's not even talk about how insanely effective even one arcane grace is on him. To top it all off, he's also a great asset to the team, providing multiple avenues for healing and also some halfway decent crowd control. I think that my only complaint about him, other than the fact that he runs around barefoot, is that I would love it if his crowd control just had a little more base range and that if Sand Shadows had just a little bit more duration. However, that may verge on being overpowered. I mean, think about it. This is the only frame in game that can go down in the middle of a fight, drag a couple enemies into his bed, suck them dry, and jump back out of the sheets for round 2. He's a gay joke, he's a meme, he's a techno song released in 2009, and apparently the savior of Phobos. Yes, this Warframe sucks in all the best ways. So thank you all for watching another episode of The Rundown. If you haven't already caught it, be sure to check out the 2 previous episodes on Saren and Ninja. Now, don't forget to do all the things that I asked you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay tuned for more of this suckfest here at A Gay Guy Plays. Take a look at those skills. He knows full well for it to be an enjoyable experience, he's got to incorporate a little bit of handwork.